What is going on, everyone? Overfletch here, and today I'm bringing you another Fletch Rambles video. In this video, we're going to be discussing a lot of random things that have been happening this week, such as the Q&A stream that went on this Tuesday, I believe. It was about Diagonal King Rework and runefest preview. We'll be talking a little bit about, of course, about runefest, because runefest is starting tomorrow, I think, as this will go up. It's kind of like my, I don't know, it's kind of like my warm-up to get ready for rambles for RuneFest. So I'm going to be covering a lot of RuneFest news, hopefully probably tomorrow or maybe in the next day or the day after that. So hopefully that'll be good. There should be a lot of information. I'm pretty excited for RuneFest. And also, like I said, I'll leave some links in the description, of course. Of course, like always, I always link my sources, but I will link a timer, a schedule. It's also on the RuneScape Twitch website, or channel. So it's twitch.tv/runefest. Oh my god, I cannot speak today, but I'm sorry, it's twitch.tv/runescape. That is the site if you wanted to go watch the RuneFest live stream. If you're also at RuneFest, then you probably will not be watching the live stream because you'll probably be there. So, yeah, there'll be a few things we gotta talk about. So, let's go ahead and just dive into those. This one, there's a quick thing I need to discuss. Came out from the September 12th, so this is, I believe, Monday of this month, or this week. And basically what this was said, this is a post on the forums from Kelpie about Bounty Hunter, and it's titled Bounty Hunter Delayed Release. And basically Kelpie's just saying what I said, like, it's Bounty Hunter is going to be delayed. It said that the background matchmaking system is a rather technical job, and it's taken a lot longer than they thought it would take. So they expected they'd be done in September. Obviously, it's not the case, so it'll probably be pushed back. It didn't say when. Deathmatch will still be coming out, which those of you who don't know, Deathmatch is another PvP little mini game that was coming out with Bounty Hunter side by side. So if you like PvP updates, you'll be looking forward to Deathmatch this month, and then Bounty Hunter whenever it comes out. They didn't say next month, but hopefully it's, for you PvP lovers, hopefully Bounty Hunter, it's either this next month or the month after that. So one of those will probably be happening for that. Now, I personally am not a big fan at all of RuneScape PvP in general. I actually really don't like PvP, like player versus player, like in any really game. I'm not really big into that. I usually like playing just like the NPCs, but that is my opinion. So it's not really an update I'm not looking forward to, but there should be very variety updates. So it shouldn't only be Slayer, it shouldn't only be Quest, and it shouldn't only be skilling or only PvP. We need a nice blend and balance to make everybody happy. So it's good it's coming out. Sucks that it has to be delayed, but at least Jagex is realizing recently that they need to actually one-on-one. Of course they're very, but they're realizing that they need to delay stuff if it's needed. So again, like I said, Bounty Hunter delayed release whenever. It'll probably be like in like a month or two, or maybe more. Maybe it's a lot worse, and they need to push it off. But that is that for that. And this next post is from Mod Kelpie, and he asked people on Twitter to send him pictures of any interfaces that have this little there's this little problem. Like, I'll show you on screen right now. I know a lot of you don't really watch the rambles, which is it's not intended for you to be watching me fletching, but things like say like you log in, log out, and your interface slightly moves. Like, say I'm showing on screen right now, like one of my things, my tiny. It's really hard to show like a tiny little one, but yeah, basically what happens is like your interface very, very slightly moves, and this has been the way since the new interface system, which I believe was 2 years ago now. Was it 2014? I believe it was 2014. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was 2015, but I think it was. But anyways, however long it's been out, that's how long it's been a problem, and they are now finally deciding, like, all right, guys, we're gonna do it. So, and I know a few people in there, actually a lot of people, sent him some interfaces that had that problem. So, and he said even in the thread, or even in the Twitter thread, I don't know if you call it a thread, but basically on the on his post, he even replied to a lot of them, said that like of the ones posted, he had like most of those fixed, and only a very few of them still needed to be fixed. So that is very good. I'm Yep, I'm ready for that one because I've had that problem myself sometimes with some interfaces with the little interface like creep. So very glad that they're finally fixing that. I know a while ago they said that I remember them acknowledging it, but they said something like it was either annoying to fix or something spaghetti code basically. But it's a good thing they're finally fixing it. So the next post we're going to be talking about is actually on the RuneScape main website. It is actually the post from this Monday, so September 12th. And basically this is just the, like I guess the one that just comes out for the week. And mostly what we're going to be discussing is the win 250 mil gold draw, which, for those of you unaware, as of this week, so if you're watching this when the ramble usually goes up, which is like the week of September 12th, 2016. Anyways, if you're watching during this time, then every day you log in, you earn a chance to win 250 mil gold. Everybody that logs in that day is put into a, I don't know, just basically put into a little system, and then whoever gets drawn wins 250 mil gold. The first day that they did it, they said who won, but I don't know if this is certain, but I think they stopped doing that. So I'm personally glad they stopped doing that because I know if I won 250 mil gold on like an alt account, I wouldn't really care for people to know. Like I would rather opt in than opt out of that. So kind of like the lottery. Like if like you, I know at least for America, like American lottery. Like if you win the lottery in certain states in the United States, you have to tell who you are, and I wouldn't want to have to tell people, hey, I just won 250 mil GP, and then those people may be like, hey, buddy, want to give me 250 mil GP? I'm like, no, go away. But that's basically it for this week, other than the stuff we're going to discuss in the Q&A, and stuff we've discussed in previous rambles about this update anyways. So actually, one thing, I don't know if I've discussed this. I know I have, but there was the anti-walk for this week. That was the main update, was getting rid of walking at bosses, and two anti-walk mechanics were deleted. I'm trying to say. Basically, one of them is anti-walking at Corp, which, for those of you unaware, if you kill Corporal Beast and you used to try to get under him, by like even if by accident, if you got under him, he could and most likely would stomp you, and he would stomp you for probably up to like I believe 5,000 damage. So he was a very hard hit, and sometimes he would just walk around. He would hit you. So it's very good that one got removed, and it's very good. Like personally, I've been back at Corp and I've been using Slaughter a lot, which for those of you unaware, the combat ability Slaughter, if you use it and you go under or you make an NPC move, which an easy way to do it is just get under the NPC and they will move to attack you. This ability, it will, like, it's a bleed, and if you make them move, like, you're making their wound, like, because they're moving, and it gives us, like, kind of the thoughts behind it, like, you're making the wound like hurt more, so it's increasing the damage of the, like, I guess the wound that you just created. Anyways, that one was removed, and also the next anti-walk. I believe this came out even within the past year. I know that they added a next anti-walk because people were able to walk it. And like I said, the reason for walking or anti-walk mechanics is because they felt that, like, I noticed this in the last ramble, but it said it's not to make it so these bosses don't become like cheesed. Like they want people to actually have to experience the special attacks, not just be able to use a method and skip them. So it's going outside. Also, speaking of, this is actually another thing I noticed myself. So those you want to wear KK, like you're able to solo the Calfight King, and it's not a boss rule. You're supposed to solo, and this update has actually made it a lot more annoying slash not really undoable because you can still do it. It's just basically if it goes into melee phase, you can't get him out of melee phase solo without taking the insta kill mechanic, and with solo with the insta kill mechanic you will die, or I guess sign. So you could still potentially do kills. It's just a lot more frustrating. So that's not the most fun, but like I said, it's also not an intended boss to solo. So I mean, I'm personally very biased about my opinion about that because I really love how Viking solos are really cool and they're really just, I don't know, they're fun. So like my opinion on it, like them getting removed is, or not really removed, it's just more, I guess a lot more annoying. Well, it's kind of like I wish it didn't happen, but I understand, break some eggs, make an omelet, all that good good stuff. Since, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and stop off with that. I'm gonna believe, and the patch notes for this week, there really wasn't anything I loved. Oh, yeah, there's one we had to talk about a few times right now. So, one of the bigger ninja fixes for this week was changing the jewelry, how the jewelry worked. This one has been a very interesting topic this week. So, for those of you unaware, they changed the jewelry as of stuff like gold, sapphire, emerald, ruby, diamond, onyx, and I believe even, well, I know this changed the Death Touch bracelet, but they might have changed everything. So, anyways, all those jewelries were changed graphically, and a lot of the player base did not like the new jewelry, myself included. I didn't like a lot of the icons. That was one thing I really had a big gripe with, because usually I always wear overrides, like I'll wear my scarf, gnome scarf, so I usually do not see what my character is wearing underneath, so that did not really affect me. However, the icons I always see, and I did not like the icons. The mod that did this update during his personal time was Mod Dolan, and Mod Dolan took a lot of the actual feedback, not the people who are just saying, "Oh my God, this update so bad. Why do we need it?" All that stuff. He took the real criticism and real structured feedback, and he came back, I believe, 2 days later with an improvement, his own improved, jewelry rework, and this one he took like the feedback, because I'll show you on screen right now. Like, this is the one I have a problem with, is the like necklaces, especially the games necklace. The jewelry, like the sapphire in it, is very small, and it's kind of annoying to figure out like which one it is. So, and the icon is just not that good. So he took a lot of those and he updated the stuff. So I will post the picture in the description. I know I will, because I've been doing a system, so I will post this picture in the description. It's of his new one. It will come out, I believe, Monday. Yeah, I believe it is the next Monday, September 19th. This will go live. If not, then it's going to be relatively soon. So that'll be a very nice one. I'm very happy that he stuck by his own, he stuck by his design, and he made it, I don't know, he made it good. Very good job. I appreciate. I remember I follow a lot of RuneScape Twitter, which if you are in the Twitter scene but you're not in the RuneScape Twitter scene, you should definitely give it a shot. It's really nice. Like, you see a lot of ninja teasers, a lot of stuff like that on the Twitter themselves by a lot of different mods, and then you'll see stuff like this, like tap projects, which is what this was, which is a free time project that they get. So I remember I was seeing this being developed, and I never really thought about it. I kind of saw some when I was like, oh, I don't really like that 100%, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then when it happened, like the update happened, I realized, oh wait, I'd already seen these. I just didn't ever acknowledge them. So that is enough about the jewelry rework. Like I said, it was a fixed, and hopefully it should be what everyone can compromise with. A lot of people are, speaking of, a lot of people are talking about how the jewelry didn't really need a rework, and in my opinion, it did. It was fairly old, a lot of it, so I didn't see a problem with making it, making them updated and bringing them a little bit more life. So I'm glad that Mod Dolan actually stuck by his design and improved it to make everyone, everyone happy. And honestly, in the game like this, there's a lot of people in RuneScape that if you touch something 15 years ago, they will get angry. So it's really hard to do something like that with a lot of veterans. It's really hard to change some old stuff, especially with veterans, like I said. And also, speaking of the patch notes, there's one thing I wanted to mention. I think I mentioned this in the last one, but there are three objects that are partially used for trolling, which especially two of them are the marker plants and dominion markers. Basically, now if you do not own it, you will not have any left click options on the thing itself, and it's pretty nice. Pretty nice, especially because I know I don't really get affected by it, but I know on main accounts portables are a very big problem about that, because people would place marker plants and it would just mess everyone up. But good thing Jagex actually got rid of that, so very, very good. So with all that out of the way, let's jump right into the Q&A for this week. And this Q&A, like I said earlier, was about Dagonov King rework, and it's also about the I guess a little teaser for runefest coming up tomorrow, actually. Yeah, tomorrow the 16th. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know dates. Actually, it'd be the 17th. Yeah, September 17th. And for those of you curious, I will go ahead and tell you right now, the starting time is, for me personally, it's 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 10:30 a.m. British summertime, I think it is. It's BST. I think it's the thing that means British summertime. I think it's the S part, but anyways, it is, yeah, 10 a.m. BST. So if you don't know what that is, just literally you can just go into Google 10 a.m. BST to whatever your time zone is, and it will pop up right there if you do not know. But I know personally for me, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'm gonna try and get up to start watching it as soon as it comes on. But I don't know, I might not be able to wake up at 5:30. I have not woken up at 5:30 in a bit, so I'm waking up like at 8, 9. So maybe it'll be able to happen. Yeah, let's get right into this Q&A. So the first part of this, they are they did this little like I guess intro stuff. They talked about, oh yeah, I didn't mention this earlier. So the 250 mil coins has a reason. You're probably thinking earlier I didn't mention it. So why are they giving away 250 mil coins every day for a week? RuneScape passed 250 million accounts created, so that is the reason why they decided to give away 250 mil coins a day. And also during on the stream, they announced their first winner of it. The person's name is Cali Carlos. So if you're watching out there, or if you're out there, Cali Carlos, congratulations on your 250 million gold pieces. That is actually more gold pieces than I have myself. So very, very nice, sir. And I hope you actually benefit from that. Speaking of, I actually looked up Cali Carlos' stats, and the person had like an 1800 total level, so it seems like he's the type of person that really needs 250 mil compared to someone like, I don't know, 4 bill XP and like a blue party had and all of his armor blood died or something. So thankfully, it seems like it's going to somebody that might actually really, really benefit from that much money. But personally, speaking of, this is a ramble, so I can ramble if I want, but like if I was an 1800 total level with like 70 combats and low level prayer, and like honestly, if I wouldn't want to gain 250 mil coins just from logging in. I that's my one of my favorite parts of the game is doing like starting from very little and building up to a nice respectable milestone or whatever, because I know personally I have come into wealth in the game just like through other means than like gathering it, I guess. Like not like I'm sitting here and like littering or something, but like stuff like staking, for example. Staking. That is the one very, very, very easy one. And I know a lot of other people have had that feeling because like people got there and stake, they win so much money, but then they're like, what do I do with it? Like me personally, it's about the journey. The end result's very nice. There is a reason for the end result, but honestly, it is just I love the journey of like being a low level, getting my stuff, especially Ironman. Like I love low level Ironman, so it's a little teaser. But anyways, we're going to be talking about oh yeah, a big question. Well, not really a big, but I guess the people who own the Tuzzy and car pets keep asking this on Q&As and like Twitter. I see it all the time, but basically they have keep asking when will we get our pet overrides, and basically they responded with that the reason why Vitalis went before it is because one, Vitalis already had animations ready for like attacks and all that, so it was really easy. But Tezzy and Krar overrides both have to have new animations, so they will happen, and they apparently are supposed to be on the next ones that will come out, but they will not be really at all. I don't even think soon at all, not even relatively soon. So I wouldn't even expect them if I were a Crozier Tuz pet owner. I'd expect them in maybe a couple months. And also, this week there was a few issues with the NXT client as soon as the update went live. And for those of you unaware, I know one of them was like the items on the ground would just have some really weird like I guess like size of like the click box, but that should already be fixed by now. They did a thing like the day after this Q&A saying that they fixed this and it's like rolling out. So if you had that problem, it should be done by now. So good thing there. And that is pretty much it for all that stuff. Now we're going to be talking about my favorite update of September 19th, aka Monday. Tier 90 dyed augmented weapons and equipment. That is mine. I'm very excited. So, those of you unaware, if you don't watch my Ironman completion series, which I feel that most of you probably do, but if you don't watch, if you just watch Rambles, that's 100% fine. Anyways, if you don't watch my series, or you don't maybe not pay attention, the I have two weapons. I have two augmented weapons. Or actually, I have more than that, but I have two dyed weapons on my account. I have a Barrows dyed Noxious Scythe and a Shadow dyed Noxious Longbow. So I have been eager since Invention came out to augment both of these weapons, and honestly didn't even think about it because I know I had my Noxus bow. I got that after Invention. I believe even my Scythe, I got both of those after Invention, but I didn't even think about it at the time to not put my dyes on my weapons. So thing is, I like who would expect it would have taken what from late January to mid September? Like who would have expected that? I didn't expect the max until summer, which I did, and that's when I expected to have to augment my dyed stuff. So I didn't think it was a big job, that big of a job. I know Ramen has said that Mod Ramen, which is if you guys don't know, is a mod that took on the project, but he stated that he didn't realize it was going to be this big of a job. So that's like not like it's not really his it wasn't his fault. Don't blame him all. I'm glad it's done, but I wish it could have been out earlier. I'm gonna say that of course because I am a 290 died augmented user when on release. So anyways, I'm just glad it's here now at least. So for those of you unaware, there are like if some of you don't know, in the treasure trails, which like the hard and elite clue scrolls variants at least, you can not win, but you can collect from them these dies, and there's 4 dies at the moment. There is a Barrows die, there is a Shadow die, a Third Age die, and a Blood die. And these dies you can put on tier 90 stuff, other than just rage armor. So stuff like your Drygores, your Nox weapons, your Ascensions, your Malevolent, your Tectonic, your Serenic, your Seismics, and I believe that's it. And also no defenders, but all that you can put these dies on, and that's it. They just look cool. That's legitimately the only reason. It's just fashion. So, and a little bit of status symbol, because stuff like blood dies and third age dies are pretty much 2 bill each. So if you're sitting there with 5 blood dies in your account, like all in your armor, your weapons, people know you're rolling in some dough, buddy. So like I said, it's basically just a fashion statement plus a telling people that you're rich. But anyways, on release of September 19th, you'll be able to dye augmented gear, or you can also augment dyed gear. So basically, like say for example, I have a Noxious Staff in my bank. It is augmented right now with some perks. If I get myself a Shadow die tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow, but let's say September 20th. So September 20th, I get a Shadow die. Then I am able to actually put that Shadow die onto my Noxious Staff already augmented. I don't have to remove the perks. I don't have to, I don't know, do anything. I just pour just it makes sense. You just pour it on there. So very, very happy about that. I'm glad that they did that. And also, I don't know if this is a change, but this is apparently how dyeing with dyed equipment in the wilderness will now work. For a weapon, it will give you the broken version of that weapon. So stuff like if you have a Barrows dyed Dragor longsword, you'll just get back the Dragor longsword itself. For armor, you will get the materials. So stuff if it's malevolent, you will just get the malevolent energies and all things like that. And also, if you die with a dyed equipment in the wilderness, if somebody PKs you for it, the person will not get the die. The die will just cease to exist. So nobody gets it. No harm, no foul, I guess. Whatever. Basically, once you use a die, it is gone. The die is gone no matter what once you use it. And also, when all charges are used in your tier 90 dyed augment, it will just go back to a broken state, similar to the existing augmented tier 90 gear. And also, I guess I can't show you guys, but if you well, this only works if you watch you do RuneScape Twitter. But anyways, one of the mods I was working on this, I forget which one of them. I don't think it was Ramen. It was one of the other ones that was like Q&A. There's really big names for these weapons now, like uncharged. I think that was one of the biggest ones. Uncharged, offhand, ascension crossbow, barrows, augmented. I don't. That's not all in order. I think it'd be like augmented, uncharged, offhand, ascension crossbow, third age. I think it'd be the full name of the weapon. There will be no like abbreviations in that name, and I guess it's ever. It's just gonna be a really, really big name for a weapon. I said, and I quote, "We will try abbreviating these in the future." So hopefully they mean also those. You don't really need huge ass like names for stuff. So, but we're done talking about 290 augment. Just know that I'm very excited myself. So if you don't care about the update, just at least be like, hey, at least Underfletch gets to dye his stuff, or gets to augment his dyed stuff. Richie life confirmed, but that is about that. So yeah, we will now be talking about the Dagannoth King's graphical rework. So like everything, I put pictures in the description. So if you have not seen the Dagannoth King's rework yet, I will put a picture in the description of them. They look pretty interesting. I don't really know what else to say about them. I will try, I guess, to give you guys a review whenever they actually come out, and I can go experience them myself. But they look pretty interesting. That's all pretty much I can say about that. But the environments are really cool. That's one part about it. But yeah, they will be graphically reworked after this. Yeah, after this Monday, so September 19th, like I said. And anyways, yeah, for those you unaware, the picture, or not the picture, but the Dagannoth King rework was inspired, inspired off of a Legend Arts drawing, which for those you unaware, if you don't know who Legend Arts is, he's basically just a RuneScape player that is really good at art. So he just makes a lot of fan art for RuneScape, and they took one of his fan arts and decided to use it in their update. So that is really cool. They even gave him credit, so I really love that they actually gave, like, a fan. I mean, not a fan. Well, I guess he's a fan of RuneScape, but glad that they actually gave somebody, like, the recognition. But anyways, after September 19th, the Dagannoth Kings will be, like I said, graphically reworked in a very, very minor drop table rework. Not really a rework, but what they're going to do is they're going to remove a lot of the junk off of it, like oyster pearls and the arrows and steel knives. And they also will not be moving the boss pets themselves. The boss pets will not be changing on release. It will be the old, not crappy, but the old Dagannoth Kings as you know and love them, I guess. So I'm like on screen, I have the Prime Hatchling right here. After Monday, the Prime Hatchling will stay the Prime Hatchling. It will stay exactly how it looks. Like, I can still bring him to the DK's lair. Prime himself will look very different, but my Prime Hatchling will not. And also, they're releasing a Dagannoth King teleport tab. I don't remember if they said in the BTS, because I remember watching it, and I don't remember explicitly if they mentioned if it's a drop from the bosses. I'm pretty sure it's a drop from the bosses themselves, but I do not remember if it's a drop from the boss or if you can make it in your player-owned house lectern. But I believe it is a drop from the Dagannoth Kings. If it's not, then oh well. And you might be thinking to yourself, Dagannoth King teleport tabs, where is that going to bring me? Well, good question. Basically, if you don't know, if you've been to Dagannoth Kings, then you know that the way to get to DKs, if you have to run to it, is like a lair, basically, and that they're at the bottom of it. Basically like a dungeon, at the very bottom of the dungeon. On that floor, on the other side of the Dagannoth Kings, there's a very small little tunnel, I guess you call it. It's kind of like, basically it's where people go, like, especially on old school, or yeah, like if you're trying to like just be a little safe, you might need to do something. Like, I always go there and I run to the DKs and get in there, because the other room, there's an open room and there's a lot of NPCs, and it's very hard to start an instance out there. So usually I go out to that little mini hallway, but there's actually a ladder back there, and above the ladder, that's where you teleport with the teleport tab. So it's very close, and it saves you a lot of time if you do not have a max guild, like boss portal. So I am personally pretty excited for the Dagannoth King's graphical rework. I don't know if I really love them yet. I don't really hate them, I don't love them though, but like I said, I will link you guys in the description how they look, and you can give your own opinion on them. And of course, it does come out this Monday, the 19th. And if, of course, you're watching past that, then you've already seen it. Maybe they've done anything to it, then you already know. But I'm actually very glad. I actually mentioned this 2 years ago when Boss Fits first came out. I remember I tried to ask them like, hey, could we see a Diagonal King rework or not? Well, I did say rework, but I really at least meant graphical. I'm like, could you guys, maybe up them a little bit? But I am kind of glad at the same time that they waited until NXT because, NXT you can make things look a lot better. So very glad that at least they stuck to that. I know they weren't doing that on purpose, but hey, it's how it happened. And because of this Diagonal King rework, they are doing a few graphical reworks of other dungeons. I think it's just because of the like what they use for the dungeon itself. Because they're using that, they can go ahead and just basically plop it into other dungeons. So this includes basically like all the wilderness dungeons, the lava maze dungeon, the deep wilderness dungeon, the wilderness agility dungeon, and the Forentry. I think I say it. Forentry. Yeah, Forentry. I don't even know how to say it. Honestly, don't. I think it's the. I think it's the Revenant. No, I guess not. But anyways, I guess that's all wilderness. Yeah, that's all wilderness dungeons. But basically, they will be graphically reworking all of those very slightly, I believe. So that would be nice. Like I always love graphical reworks. Like one of my favorite updates of last month was the Catherby rework. Although I don't go to Catherby every day, I still appreciate that they took the time to actually make it look better. But yeah, that is basically the updates for next week. And before you go, there's a few other things. Actually, there's a few more things. Don't worry about it. I'm not done yet, but they talked about the Ninja Team because I believe Kelpie was actually on there himself, and they talked about some of their projects right now, which we discussed already. Two of them, Bounty Hunter and Deathmatch. But the third one will be the bank rework. They are starting the bank work. I think they've already started, or they're about to start the bank rework, which basically they're going to improve the banking system. I think they're starting either from scratch or they're starting like they're adding a lot more. And this will probably be, in my opinion, probably be done about sometime summerish 2017 because it's not this year at all. So it'll probably be something like that, and it'll be very nice, my opinion. Like there is placeholders, so that will be very good. And I know they said that they're gonna have a beta for the for the bank rework before it goes live, just because you don't want someone like accidentally losing their entire bank that would like cripple somebody. So because of a bug, you don't want something like that happening. So they're gonna make sure all that's good before they put it out for launch. And they also talk about that one of their projects they want to work on in 2017 is a clue scroll rework or just like improvement. So I really hope they do a rework, and honestly hope, I'm actually going to try and suggest this myself, maybe get onto the Q&A itself. But I really want to hope they could do something for Ironman. And this isn't just for Ironman, but I know Ironman themselves would be greatly benefited. And basically what I'm trying to do is add partial sets to the treasure trail box and the player own house. So those of you unaware, I will actually show you right now on screen. Like I said, I know I don't watch the screen itself, but if you're watching right now, you'll see my clue tab, and I have so many sets of stuff in here that is not completed yet. Like I have the Bandos hide stuff. I have a lot of the H stuff, and basically a lot of that I don't have the sets. I have them almost completed. So, say for example, my Guthix. I think I have 3 out of 4 pieces. Yes, I do. I have three out of 4 of the Guthix treasure trail armor completed. So that means at the moment I can't store 3 items. So I am losing three bank spots or bank slots because of that update. But if that update went live, I would save 3 bank spots or bank slots. So I really hope they could do that. I don't personally code, so I don't know if that's like a really hard thing to do or a hard thing not to do, but I really hope that, I believe you can do that in old school RuneScape. I think you can store partial sets. I know you cannot in this game, but that'd be a very, very good improvement, and I wish they could do something like that. And also, they wanted to talk about changing divination caches. So, those of you unaware, the mini game cache for divination occurs every 3 hours, and it gives you a very, very sizable chunk of experience and divination. and then it gives you a little mini boost for your divination, and you go train your divination with that. If you have 100 points, I believe yeah, it's 20 points. It's 20 minutes if you have 100 points. I don't remember how much it is per point. You could probably work it out yourself. But if you get 50 points, you get 10 minutes. So you could work it out probably with that. But anyways, if you get 100 points, you have 20 minutes of this boost, and it does things like 10% chance to dump all the inventories in your familiar and your inventory into the cache, or into the pool, divination pool itself, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's just a nice little tiny bit of addition into your divination XP per hour. But the minigame itself is a lot of XP per hour, so it's very, very good. Anyways, they want to improve it by changing it from every 3 hours to making it so divination caches go every hour, which is very, very good for some people that don't have a lot of time to play every day. Because a lot of times, like I know a lot of people that cannot do 2 caches a day. But they want changes from that. But you could only get bonus experience every 3 hours. So that's kind of counterintuitive. It's kind of like, as long as you can do it twice a day within some type of a day, then it helps. But like, say if you can only log on for 2 hours of a day and it has to be together, then it doesn't really affect you as much. And also making the ability to hide familiars, so you don't have to dismiss them in the cache. And also, it says improving the flow and interaction of other players. So I believe one thing they discussed on the stream was that, like, when you went to collect the energy itself, like the little, I guess, like bottles, basically when you go collect those, sometimes you'll go to try to get it and it'll just disappear because someone else in front of you got it. So changing it that little bit, giving that little tiny quality of life rework that they love, everyone loves, that little bit, be much appreciated. One thing the Ninja update talked about that I don't really understand is that Kelpie said that creating small updates doesn't really, his eyes, like he would rather do one big update that everybody appreciated instead of like 20 little mini updates. And that I don't understand, because the Ninja team was designed to make quality of life reworks, and they have done so many good things. Like, I'm gonna name like one, for example, is like Holy Water. Holy Water was like a mess to make before, and I love Holy Water at TDs, the Tormented Demons. It's very, very good. So fixing that was very good. There's so many updates. If you could think of like your favorite quality of life rework within the past year, chances are a Ninja team made it. So like I don't understand why they don't want to do small updates as much anymore. Like, people really, really appreciate those. They don't understand that, yes, maybe only 5% of the population cares about this one update, but then another 5% likes this one, another 5% likes this mini one, another 5%. So, it adds up. Everybody appreciates them. I know that. Even if you don't even, like, you might be like, oh, I don't care about the Ninja team, but there's probably something they've done before that you really have appreciated. You just don't even know it. And if the Ninja team doesn't do small updates anymore, we might not get stuff like that anymore. So I really hope that they aren't trying to get away from that, and they're trying to only do big things like bank rework and bounty hunter and boss pets and I don't know, all stuff like that. I'm supposed to appreciate it, but it shouldn't be their main focus, in my opinion. Well, that's my opinion, of course. So I believe that is it. Oh yeah, okay. They said that the Ninja said that they discuss Ninja fixes every single week, and then they assign priorities to each of the fixes. That's pretty much it for that. And that's pretty much it for the Q&A, but we will talk a tiny bit about RuneFest. I'm not going to really go into details about I did talk about like RuneFest itself, but I'm releasing this the day before RuneFest. If you don't know like where the venue is or all that, chances are you're probably not going, or you're watching this after you already went to RuneFest. You're probably not watching this right now. Basically, the only thing good was like for us is if you're going to be watching the stream tomorrow, you can win a little pet. I think it's called. Oh, it doesn't have the name here, but it's like a little lion. So we'll be able to win one of these, like one of those. If you're watching the stream, there'll probably be a code. Probably have to go to Django or Diango. That's not Django, but Diango, and give them a code, and it'll probably like pop out the pet. So probably watch out for tomorrow. Probably people will probably be telling us all that. But oh yeah, one thing cool is that Hyper Hippo will be at the RuneFest, which is very awesome. If you don't know who Hyper Hippo is the company behind Idle Adventures, isn't that? Yeah, RuneScape Idle Adventures. But they're also behind the Adventure Capitalist. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. Adventure Capitalist game. I think that's yeah. I just checked my Steam library. It's Adventure Capitalist, and it's an idle game. I love idle games personally. Idle games are so much fun. And I played that one. I think I put about 100 hours in Adventure Capitalist. I never put a penny into it. I know people do, and I know like it's kind of like the mobile games, kind of like Curse, where they'll have people that put a ton of money into them. Personally, I'm a guy that I don't mind waiting for like a month. I come back to that idle game, and then I play more of it. I click a few buttons, I log off. So you could meme that RuneScape 3 is basically an idle game, but I mean you're right. But it's kind of like Kingdom. If you don't know what an idle game is, it's kind of like you're managing your kingdom or managing your ports. Ports is a very good example of an idle game. Basically, where you go and do an event, you do a few actions, you come back a few hours later, there it is. So ports is pretty much a good like idea of a mobile game or a not mobile game. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. My words are horrible, but yeah, we're done with that. But like I said, there is one more thing I'll talk about, which is the schedule, and I will put this in the description. So if you want to see the schedule, it'll be down there. There'll be a link. I'll make sure to link. I'll make sure I'll title it probably like RuneFest schedule here. But this is in BST, which is British Summertime, on like I said, Saturday, September 17th, 2016. So somehow, if you're watching it another time, guess what? You probably can't watch this live. Good, like reward, like you know, you probably can't. But anyways, 10:30 a.m. BST, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This is my time zone. Will be the introduction of the RuneFest live stream and all that. So probably nothing big right there. And then 11 is the big kickoff. 11:20 is RuneScape's rest of the year, which is probably the big part. Oh, okay, I know where the big part is. I'll tell you in a second. But that's talking about like the end game of Sliske and and Fate of the Gods 2 and all the good stuff. That's gonna be the time you want to watch on it. You'll probably want to start watching. You probably don't need to watch the introduction and the big kickoff. It's probably not gonna be anything. It's probably gonna be like, "Woo, guys, we're here at RuneFest," and that's probably all it's gonna be. But RuneScape's rest of the year is probably where you're gonna want to start watching, which is at 6:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're if you're in the United States like I am on the East Coast, but anywhere else, like I said, 11:20 BST. Probably the time to start watching. And then after that, at noon, they will have the RuneScape Combat Showcase at 1300, which is at 8 a.m. my time is the streamer and video maker Q&A. So if you don't care about that as much, I want to tell you that Wooks himself will be there. So if you want to see Wooks IRL, make sure you tune in to that part of the stream. You'll see Wooks himself. Maybe he'll just he'll get on, he'll like 3-tick Mod Ramen or something, or like Mod Mac K or something, like 3-tick, like I don't know, something. But anyways, at 1400, which is at 9 a.m. my time, like 9 a.m. Eastern time, will be the old school year ahead part. At 15:30, which is 10:30 my time, there will be the RS3 RuneScape reveals, like for next year, which will probably be. They said that this year will have the biggest update or biggest announcement ever from RuneFest. So I know Invention got announced at RuneFest. I think Evolution of Combat got announced at RuneFest. I'm unsure about that. I swear, because somebody told me that they said that Evolution of Combat got announced then. I swear that it got announced in like January of 2013. Is that when it came out? 2012. 2012. I swear it came out like early that year. So if it did, then it has to be something bigger than a combat change. So that'd be a huge update. Even just more than Invention, the first of its kind of an elite skill. It's kind of a big update. So I'm really curious what they're trying to do. And before it's something we already know, like, oh guys, we sold the company to Chinese. Like, we already know that. It's gonna be something dumb like that. I feel like it's either gonna be something like blows your mind, or it's gonna be something that's just kind of like meh. Like I don't know. That's what I think. I think I think that's what's gonna happen. Honestly, my opinion that it might be kind of little on the second side, but Jagex has surprised me before, so hope they knock it out of the park. And also two more things. At 16:45, so I believe 11:45 a.m. my time Eastern, is the Last Man Standing tournament, and 17:30, which is 12:30 my time, is the Golden Gnome Awards. So for those of you anywhere, Golden Gnomes are basically like the RuneScape Emmys or RuneScape Oscars, or basically the not even the best of the best. Well, yeah, best of the best, the like most acknowledgeable people of that year get awarded. So it's a very very big deal if you want a golden gnome. Like say for example, like I believe Munkle Zunky, which is a very big RuneScape 3 YouTuber, won one I think last year or the year before for his videos. I know that Artist Will Miss It has won I think twice now. I know he won last year for his the RuneScape movie that him and his like team created, and that was so good. I love that video. I love that movie, by the way. I've seen it like twice or three times now, and it's honestly just really funny. Like, but anyways, that is a big thing, and I have people I voted for personally. I don't know if you guys voted for the Golden Gnomes, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I hope my buddy Omid, RuneScape Omid, I hope he does well. I don't know. I have a feeling I know who will win the because he's a RuneScape R3 streamer, so I think I know who's gonna win the RuneScape streamer Golden Gnome. I don't want to say stuff just so I'm not wrong. People would be like, "Oh, like you think you know everything and you're wrong." But I'll keep that to myself. But I'll be there rooting for my friend Omid. So, anyways, I believe that is all we are going to talk about this week. Well, not this week because we will be talking about RuneFest either tomorrow or maybe possibly Sunday. But I think I might. I'm gonna go and tell you guys now. I think I'm gonna put a Ironman completion series out Monday. Sorry, Sunday, and then Monday I am hitting off because what I want to do, I want to try and get all my clips out of the way so that Monday when the augmented dies come out, I actually didn't say next this time. Like I always say when next comes out. I think you'll see it in my last episode. I think I talked like next comes out. But anyways, when augmented dice come out, I want to start it without any clips, basically, and I just want to go to next. I just want to go to next, get a lot of drops, have a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have told me, a few people at least, have told me that they're pretty excited the next content, and I am too. So I am very excited for that, and I want to try to get a clean slate, probably a Sunday upload, and then just go to next and see what happens. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is it for me. So hope you enjoyed this ramble. And if you've not, if this is your first ramble, go check out some other ones. They're pretty enjoyable. If you enjoyed this one, you'll most likely enjoy another one. But anyway, guys, if you're going to RuneFest, and you somehow watching this still, then enjoy RuneFest. If you're gonna be watching the stream, let me know. I will be watching probably the entire thing. If you see me in the chat, my name is Overfletch. Go ahead and shout me out. Go, hey man, I see you, nerd. But I'll probably be there too. So I've been trying to like close out I think for like 2 minutes now, but I'm gonna go ahead and end right now. So anyways, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this ramble. I'm rambling the outro. It's really pretty funny, but like I said, hope you enjoyed the ramble, and I will see you in a few more days with a new video. So take care, everyone.